Live from KSAT 12, the Nightbeat starts right now.
Just before 9 o'clock tonight, Texas Senate Bill 1, the Heavens 27 Camp Safety Act, unanimously passed the state Senate. The law is aimed at keeping kids safe at summer camps after last month's tragic flooding over at Camp Mystic, where 27 campers and counselors lost their lives.
That measure would require that camps have real-time weather alerts and train staff on evacuations and clear emergency plans. It also makes sure camps can communicate quickly during emergencies and keep sleeping cabins out of flood-prone areas.
In other news tonight, families are demanding that a local school district listen.
Yeah, this is a story we've been following. 2 nights ago, they wanted to go before the Edgewood ISD school board to talk about bullying, transparency, and communication. But in the middle of public comment, Edgewood ISD police officers arrested a woman for going over her time limit.
And some families say that that was unacceptable, and they still want to get their message out to the school district. And tonight, they spoke with our Avery Everett.
When I say parent, you say power!
San Antonio families stood around their own podium Thursday night, calling for the Edgewood ISD School Board to take accountability.
It was an opportunity to make sure that the families felt at peace.
2 days ago, this happened to Maribel Gardea.
Being at a board meeting because they didn't like what I had to say in Spanish.
Edgewood ISD police officers arrested her after she went over her time limit during public comment. She's charged with disrupting a meeting, criminal trespass, and resisting arrest.
They bullied me into going into jail, into saying that I did all these things, and I don't believe that's true.
Here's what we know happened. Gardea spoke during public comment at an Edgewood ISD board meeting on Tuesday night. She's the executive director of Mindshift Ed, a nonprofit dedicated to helping families advocate for their kids' education. She wanted to speak in both Spanish and English, and the board agreed.
Go ahead.
Gardea says she was confused about her timing, and when she tried to keep reading after her allotted time, the mic cut. When she tried to stay at the stand, police approached her and escorted her out of the room.
Ma'am, you're out of line. Your time's up.
The next video we've seen is taken minutes later after she was detained in handcuffs and put in the back of a police car.
They really showed the community the type of leadership that they have and the type of respect that they show for anybody.
We reached out to Edgewood ISD to talk directly with the superintendent, board president, or chief of police about what happened on Tuesday night. We were told none of them were available for an interview. The superintendent did respond to our questions through an emailed statement, though. When we asked if he believed the district handled this situation appropriately, he said in part Gardea's actions were not in alignment with board policy and required her removal, and said, quote, EISD acted in accordance with policies, training, and a consistent board meeting cadence.
Honestly, I think it just shows the true colors.
Gardea says that's why she wanted families to join her on Thursday to share their testimony.
We're fighting for our children's schools to be safe. We're fighting for them to be taught by certified teachers who take their profession serious.
Cheers, just days after yelling.
Because I have rights.
The story got out because of what happened to me, but the reality is that I'm here representing them.
Call for charges to be dropped, and a call for a change in Edgewood ISD culture. We've been in contact with the Bexar County District Attorney's Office all week about the charges in this case. We're told the office will make a decision tomorrow about whether they're going to prosecute or not. Reporting live, I'm Avery Everett, KSAT 12 News.
Avery, thank you. In other news now, San Antonio City Council made a big decision today on the future of a new sports and entertainment district.
Yeah, leaders approved funding terms for a new $1.3 billion Spurs arena, moving that project closer to becoming a reality. That vote came after hours of debate and public comment, with supporters saying it's time to move forward. Mayor Gina Ortiz-Jones wanted to pause that plan for more studies and community meetings, but the majority of City Council rejected that, 4-7. Council comments on the proposed terms took longer before they approved them, 7-4. Among the same split, some council members say they would still like to see another study, but for now the funding plan is approved and ready to take the next steps.
Months after her 14-year-old son was shot and killed outside of a San Antonio school, a mother is still searching for why this happened. We do know that San Antonio police arrested one person in the case.
Yeah, however, they're still looking for more suspects. The 19 Zaria Oates shares a mother's heartache that can't begin to heal until justice is served.
It's still so unreal.
It's been 4 months since Alejandro Cuevas' 14-year-old son, Simon, was killed. We met her at Brewer Academy, which is where her son Simone was attending school the day he was shot. On April 16th, after school dismissal, Simone was seen on the surveillance video nearby, walking with a group of people. Moments later, he was beaten, shot, and killed.
We thought that there was, patrolling in the area after school. Usually they have administration outside. Usually they have like a cop car, the school cop coming up and down the street. So it's just upsetting that they didn't have those extra resources that could have prevented this.
She went months with no answers. SAPD then arrested 18-year-old Fernando Flores 4 months after Simone was killed. The department says they are still searching for 20-year-old Cesar Tijerina, who has a warrant out for his arrest for capital murder, as well as a third suspect who they aren't identifying because they're a minor.
There's still so many unanswered questions that we have about that day.
Alejandra tells me she still has no idea why this happened and wishes her son was somewhere else at the time. Brewer Academy is now closed, but not because of the murder. According to SAISD, students were only at Brewer because the Estrada campus that students in alternative school typically attend was getting repaired.
But I wish that the move would have been sooner, because then we probably wouldn't be here today.
What's it like seeing the memorial up close?
It's just a sad reminder of what happened here.
Now she wants justice. And for Alejandra, justice is this.
For everyone involved to be held accountable, for them to get time, for them to have to go to prison.
And we will see justice come through for Simone.
Zaria Oates, KSAT 12 News.
Man facing charges after a hit and run that killed a 62-year-old woman in Balcones Heights back in June. 36-year-old Kevin Tilley accused of speeding and leaving the scene after hitting Irma de Leon on Fredericksburg Road and driving away. Police say he tried to hide the damage to his car by taking it apart and buying new parts. Surveillance video and blood evidence connect his silver Acura to the crash. Tilley arrested in Tarrant County. He is now back in Bexar County, awaiting booking. Today, a jury saw an interview between San Antonio police and that capital murder suspect.
So this is for the retrial of R.C. Curtis, who's accused of killing 75-year-old Paula Boyd in her apartment 10 years ago. And 6 days after Boyd's death, Curtis sat down with San Antonio police, and that was the taped interview that the jury saw today. And they heard Curtis explain that he was married to Boyd's granddaughter. He denied taking anything from her and also said that he had nothing to do with her murder. If he's convicted, Curtis faces life in prison without the possibility of parole. Testimony is expected to continue tomorrow morning, and you could watch it live on all of our digital platforms. Now, Hill Country flood victims are getting more help with housing. The Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country has now pledged $40 million to help with housing recovery, and that money is coming from donors. Right now, the foundation is working on when and also how that money is going to be distributed, and also which of those projects would come first. Governor Greg Abbott was in Kerrville today, where he praised the nonprofit for their work.
While the governor was in Kerrville, we got the chance to talk to him about a new congressional map facing its last step before reaching his desk. The state Senate officially will vote on a bill that redraws district lines to help Republicans win more seats in Congress. Governor Abbott saying he expects to sign off on the maps this week. Now, usually redistricting maps get redone every 10 years after a census. President Donald Trump asked Texas to do it early before next year's midterms. And as Governor Abbott told us today, this isn't the first time something like this has happened.
So Texas has done mid-decade redistricting before, so have other states. It's perfectly legal to do. There are some states that require constitutional amendment to do it. That's not the case in Texas.
Now, the new maps could change districts for 4 of our area representatives: Congressman Henry Cuellar, Vicente Gonzalez, Greg Casar, and Lloyd Doggett.
And this evening, Congressman Doggett released a statement saying that he'll run for re-election if that map is rejected, but he won't run if it's approved. And he said this in part, quote, "I prefer to devote the coming months to fighting Trump tyranny and serving Austin rather than waging a struggle with fellow Democrats," end quote. So now California is getting in on this. Now voters in the Golden State will decide on a new map there aimed at helping Democrats win 5 more House seats in November. California state lawmakers approving the special election legislation, and Governor Gavin Newsom signed it tonight, calling it, quote, a response to an assault on democracy in Texas. However, Republicans have filed a lawsuit, and they're promising to fight that measure. Now we're learning more about the firing of Poteet Police Chief Bruce Hickman, Lieutenant Noe Rodriguez, and an unnamed sergeant. And that is something that happened this week.
Yeah, all 3 on administrative suspension while the city finishes its review. A scathing 29-page external review of the Poteet Police Department revealed multiple instances of favoritism, resistance to oversight, and a loss of public trust in the department. You can find the full report right now on our website. Just scan the QR code right now on your screen.
And the review also revealed that one leader's spouse handled sensitive police duties and that the department often ignored city policies, operating more on personal loyalty than professional standards. The Poteet police chief, lieutenant, and sergeant are now on administrative suspension as the city looks into what happened.
The Johnson Jaguars are set to defend their district title with most starters returning. Larry has a preview still ahead to KSAT Sports.
I hope you're not eating now, because I got to tell you this: dirty knives, ants, and poor food handling. Those are some of the things that health inspectors found at a Southside restaurant. And we're going to take you behind the kitchen door after the break.
It's that time. A customer walking out mid-meal after hearing what a health inspector found.
These are violations that range from unsanitary to downright inedible.
The Night Team's Daniela Ibarra shows us what's behind the kitchen door.
Inside Cocula, Jalisco Mexican restaurant are 18 violations that made this man ask for a refund.
Because I'm not going to be eating at somewhere where the food's not right.
Last month, inspectors found insects in unopened food. Employees got caught not washing their hands. Gloves also weren't being changed between handling raw food and ready-to-eat meals.
So, I saw someone back here not using gloves.
En los chips siempre usamos guantes.
Inspectors also noticed someone getting food off a spatula by tapping it on a trash can.
Do you think that's okay? ¿Tú crees que eso está bien?
No, pues no.
Oh, that's gross. Oh, okay.
Have you eaten?
I'm eating right now.
Oh. Would you eat in a place like this?
So la ni me he dado cuenta.
¿No te has dado cuenta? You haven't noticed?
No.
The Southside restaurant on Roosevelt Avenue earned an 80 and a reinspection. Good Time Charlie's had one of the worst health scores last month. The report listed a dozen violations, giving it a score of 74.
It said that there were some pork chops in there that were in there since June, so it was expired.
I had no clue. I did not know.
Dirty knives weren't getting cleaned, and ants were spotted near the kitchen.
What would you tell customers who might hear this and be a little worried to eat here?
I'd say we've been in business for an awfully long time. It's a very old building, and we have had few complaints, issues. That's what I can say. Everything is taken care of, I'm absolutely certain.
That's what's behind the kitchen door. I'm Daniela Ibarra.
All right, let's talk about a different kind of food right now. The second annual Texas Eats Food Festival happening next month. You can get your tickets right now. Just scan the QR code. The fun starts at 3 p.m. on September 20th at the Boeing Techport Center. You'll be able to eat food from 20 of the top restaurants across Texas, prepared by Michelin and James Beard award-winning chefs. Here's the best part. A portion of the proceeds will benefit the Community Foundation of the Texas Hill Country.
All for a wonderful cause. All right, now we're going to take a live look outside. All right, so earlier today we were looking at
singing.
Well, I was excited because finally, I know, and you know what? I
Outside.
can't hold a tune. So anyway, so 80 degrees out there right now. Listen, you would sing too if we were able to hold on to these temperatures just a little longer and not deal with that stifling heat.
I got a text from a friend who was outside, said it feels like fall with these temperatures and the breeze.
See?
Because of the outflow from the thunderstorms that were all around us, but not over us. I want to talk about tomorrow before we get into how much rain fell and where today, along with the new drought monitor. Tomorrow, a 30 to 40% chance in the afternoon. That's mainly between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. And here's the newest updated futurecasts, and it shows some activity off to the east, potentially closer to the noon hour. And I just also want to point out, once we get into the afternoon, these showers could be anywhere on the map, so don't pay close attention to exact placement. They could pop up pretty much anywhere at any time between 2 p.m. and 7 p.m. I do think coverage will be a little more limited than what we had today. And I know in San Antonio, you're thinking, what do you mean? We didn't have anything today in most of San Antonio, but all around central Texas, we actually had a decent amount of rain. I'll get to those totals in a second. First, the new drought monitor's in, updated every Thursday, and we did have some improvement in Medina County. Also, there's about 2 to 3 inches of rain in parts of Medina County that's not accounted for in this drought monitor because the data cutoff is 7 a.m. on Tuesday morning, and we've had good rain since then. All right, here's a look at the radar from early this morning all the way into the afternoon, and you see how we did get some rain on drought-stricken Kinney County and even Medina County, Wilson County. We had some of those heavy downpours move through. Lightning and thunder, and even did lead to a little bit of localized flash flooding earlier today. So everywhere you see a color, the blue, the green, the yellow on the map, that's where we had rain. And there were just these few pockets of our area. It's luck of the draw. Comal County, western Guadalupe County, and then central Bexar County, which of course is San Antonio, is where we missed out on the good rainfall and most of the rain. I could hear the thunder off in the distance, felt the cool outflow breeze, but just didn't hit where I was today either. That's the luck of the draw. But look at this, not too far away in Wilson County, near the city of Calaveras, 3.3 inches. Look at that. But then let's go just a few miles, okay? This is how rain always works. Let's go to Elmendorf, 5.3 miles away, and boop, 0. Nothing. 5.3 miles. 0 to over 3 inches. That's the nature of rainfall. And going forward, tomorrow's our next really decent chance, 10 to 20% chance each afternoon this weekend, and then very slight chances next week. We still have that northerly steering flow because the upper level heat high, it's parked off to the west. It's going to slowly work its way in the early part of next week. I really want to point out Category 2, Hurricane Erin, starting to fall apart a little bit, just recently got downgraded again, still kicking up the waves along the east coast of the U.S. That's headed out to sea. Then we're watching for more development. And that's this cluster of storms currently near the Leeward Islands. That's likely to follow a similar path of Erin and likely to turn into our next tropical cyclone. Tomorrow, 75 in the morning, 95 in the afternoon. We'll be in the mid-90s, even some low 90s in the hill country, 90 in Kerrville, 90 in Boerne. Today, we only made it to 90 in San Antonio because of those beautiful outflows from the thunderstorms all around us, just not over us.
Okay, Adam, thank you.
All right, we've heard from Shotty. Let's hear from Jerry tonight.
Yeah, so Jerry Jones talked with Michael Irvin on his YouTube page, and it was probably about an hour-long conversation. And Jerry Jones talked a lot about the Parsons contract extension, and he is blaming the failure to get one on Parsons' agent. And in college football, UIW is ready to play on national TV. Coming up.
It would have made him the highest guaranteed player other than a quarterback in the NFL.
Jerry Jones opened up to Michael Irvin about Micah Parsons' contract extension in Big Board Sports. While talking on Michael Irvin's YouTube channel, Dallas Cowboys owner Jerry Jones said he offered Micah Parsons enough money to make him the highest guaranteed player that's not a quarterback in the NFL. Jerry said he negotiated the deal with Parsons, that it's done, and he blames Parsons' agent David Muguleta for not getting the deal done, saying Parsons' agent told Jerry to shove it.
I have agreed to give more money than has ever been given in terms of guaranteed money than anyone ever has as far as a defensive player. I've done that. Now, I am the cat that writes the check. Now, as it turns out in this particular case, you say, well, what happens? Well, what happens is that we have a contract, and there's this year remaining under the contract. And then in the NFL, I get at our volition to extend that contract another year. We'll pay him like a franchise and another one after that. So we really got 3 years to work this thing out. And we had our agreements on term, amount, guarantees, everything. We were going to send it over to the agent. And the agent said, don't bother because we've got all that to negotiate. Well, I'd already negotiated. I'd already moved off my mark on several areas. And so the issue, very frankly, is we've had the negotiation in my mind. And the agent's trying to get his nose in it right now.
Parsons requested a trade on August 1st and said a deal will not be done without his agent. Led by head coach T.P. Miller, the Johnson Jaguars are one of the top 6A teams in the area and looking to defend their district championship. Last season, they went 10-2 overall and a perfect 7-0 in District 27 6A, and that's no easy feat because 27 6A is one of the toughest around with the likes of Reagan, Brandeis, and Clark, just to name 3 teams. The Jags have 6 offensive starters and 9 defensive starters coming back from last season, and they are predicted to win district per Dave Campbell's Texas Football. The Jags are ready for a deep playoff run.
You know, our motto this year is to rise up, and so rising up as a student athlete on the field and off the field, characteristics, but also on the field. Same thing for the coaching staff, same thing with our athletic trainers. It's going to take a whole community to get behind this movement in order to reach the short-term goal, which is a district championship, and reach our long-term goal, which is state championship, and we have everything here to do so. So we just got to take one game at a time.
We just think that what we did last year doesn't matter anymore, you know what I mean? So we're just going to build, although like we're still building off of it, we're not going to be like, oh, we went second round last year. We're just starting 0-0.
We just go into the season knowing that, you know, like we are a good team. We are capable of making it to state, and like we will try like everything we can like just to make it there. Like we will. Yes, sir.
Johnson will play at Judson 1 week from tonight at 7 p.m. at Rutledge Stadium. And here's the matchup for the KSAT Pigskin Classic 1 week from now at Ferris Stadium. Sotomayor will face Clark. The game will be broadcast live on KSAT 12 and streamed live on KSAT Plus, the Big Game Coverage app, and KSAT.com. We'll have coverage throughout the week leading up to kickoff, including a 30-minute pregame show starting at 6:30 p.m. Incarnate Word football is ready to play on national TV after the
Oh, like I said, just treat it like any other game. You know, it's not any bigger than it will be in week 8. You know, it's just a school I have ties with. I came from, so I mean, it's not any different than any other game. It's a solid conference game.
UIW defensive back Tyler Morton is ready to face his former team Nichols on Saturday in Louisiana. The Cardinals held a walkthrough this morning as they put on the final touches before facing the Colonels. This will be the first college football game on American soil this season and is the first ever Southland Conference contest to be featured on national television.
Yeah, extremely good football team, great program with a ton of tradition. I think Tommy Rybecki is a tremendous coach. And I think he's going to continue on their tradition, their identity. They're going to be a physical football team. They're going to play hard. They're going to execute at a high level. So it's going to be a tremendous test, especially in a week 0 game where you have an entire offseason where tweaks can be made, this, that, and the third. But I'm excited for the opportunity.
UIW will play at Nichols Saturday at noon on ESPN2, and I will definitely be tuned in.
Football season is here.
It is.
Yeah, I'm ready. Thanks, Larry.
Thank you. And we'll be right back.